Hi, good day all. So today we'll be doing number 8. This year that we're doing is actually May/June. So May, June 2020, 2022. This one was algebra, relations, and functions and graphs. And when we read the question, we see it's an inequality question. So let us read this number 8. A car rental company has X cars and Y minivans. So they did not tell you the number of cars nor the number of minivans, right? The company has at least 8 vehicles altogether. So the company has at least 8 vehicles altogether. That means if we were to add X cars plus Y minivans, we're going to get for the least amount, guys, right? They said for the least amount. So that means we have more than 8 vehicles. So it's going to be 8 plus Y is more than or equal to 8. So the combination of cars and minivans, the least amount that you can get is 8 vehicles, right? Then the next one says the number of minivans is less than or equal to the number of cars. So if we were to just put that, the number of minivans is Y, is less than or equal to, that's the one that looks like an L, or equal to, right, minivans is less than or equal to the number of cars, which is X. So that is the next inequality, if we were to read it, right? So they say at least 8 vehicles. That is how I got this one here. And then the number of minivans is less than, which is less than or equal to is this, right? The sign here that I just now drew, right? Or equal to the number of cars, right? Which is X. And then they said the number of cars has no more than 9. So they're saying that cars, the most amount that you could get in cars is 9, right? Because they said no more than 9. Anything above 9 would be more than what they have. So X, which is cars, is no more than 9 would be. So X is less than or equal to 9, right? And then they said write down the 3 inequalities in terms of X and or Y other than these two, which is X is more than or equal to 0 and X is more than or equal to 0. So the 3 inequalities, we already did them, was X plus Y is more than or equal to 8, which means for the least amount they have 8, the combination of these two, right? They have more than 8, right? Then they said the number of minivans is less than or equal to the number of cars, so we just put in that Y is less than or equal to X. And then we have the third one, which is the number of cars is no more than 9. So we have, for the maximum amount of cars, they have 9, which is less than or equal to 8. We have part B. A car can carry 4 persons or 4 people, and a minivan can carry 6 people. There are most 60 persons to be taken on tour. So for the most, right, is 60 persons. That means it would be 60 or less, right? So if we were to combine all the people in the car, which would be 4x, because we don't know how much cars it is, right, plus 6y, because we don't know how many minivans it is, for the most that they would carry would be 60. So it's equal to 60 and less than. So 4x plus 6y is less than or equal to 60. Okay, so now we're going to say show that 2x plus 3y is less than or equal to 30. Now, if we look at all the numbers here, we see that there is one thing in common. They are all divisible by 2. So if we were to divide this entire thing by 2, we'll get 4x divided by 2 is 2x. 6y divided by 2 is 3y. The sign stays the same. 60 divided by 2 is 30. So we broke it down to get the same thing, and that's how you're going to show it. And that is all for part B. All right, now let's go on to the last one. They said on the grid below, plot the four lines associated with the inequalities on A and B. So the answers that we got in A and B, we have to plot the line, we have to draw the lines, shade the label region that satisfies all four inequalities of R and label it R. Right, so the first one, let's go to the side here, was X plus Y, and instead of more than or equal to 8, I'm just going to put equal to 8 because we're plotting a line, a graph, right? Now, when you have x plus y is equals to 8, what you're going to do is going to choose a value. The easiest values to choose is when x is equals to 0. So x is equals to 0. You put 0 plus y is equals to 8. So we can clearly see y is equals to 8. Right? So when x is equals to 0, y is equals to 8. So my coordinates that I could point is 0, 8. Now to make a line, we have to have two coordinates, right? So we have the first coordinate was 0, 8, and then the next one is when y is equals to 0, right? X is equals to, again, 8. But if we can just do it. So wherever we see y, we're going to put 0. So it's going to be 0, sorry, wherever we put y, wherever we see y, we're going to put 0. So it's going to be x plus 0 is equals to 8, and that means x is equals to 8. So our coordinates is going to be 8, 0. So to draw my line, I have two coordinates already, 0, 8 and 8, 0. Right? And we're going to just plot that, and I'll plot it in a different color for each one so that we'll be able to recognize it. This one I already did the working in black, so we'll do it. So when x is 0, that means along my y-axis, y is 0. So my first coordinate is going to be right here. Right? And then the next coordinate that you're going to do is when x is 8 and y is 0. That is on my x-axis. So this here is my first line. I'm just going to draw it so that you guys could see the line. And that line that is being drawn in black is x plus y is more than or equal to 8. Right? Now, if we're talking about the inequality, we know that more than or equal to 8 would be in this direction here. Right, guys? I'm just showing it. Now, the next inequality is x is equal to 9, or x is less than or equal to 9. When x is equals to 9, that means y is equals to 0. So x is equals to 9 is this line. It's a vertical line going up. Right? So x is equals to 9. We're going to go straight up here. Let me just this line here, and I'm going to do it a different color. I'm doing it blue, right? Just so that you guys could differentiate. So this one here is actually blue, right? And I'm going to write x. They said x is less than or equal to 9. So we're looking at the x values, and we know that is this direction here. So we're looking at 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. These arrows that I'm showing is for my inequality, okay, guys? Then the next one is y. Let's do this in pink. Y is less than or equal to x. If we have to make a graph for that as x, not x, sorry, y is equal to x. Now, if y is equals to x, we're going to draw a line. I'm going to draw this line here. So you're going to just check. So when x is 1, y is 1. So I'm just going to draw a line that's going here. Then when x is 2, y is 2. We're seeing it, right, so far? We're seeing it so far. When x was 2, y was 2. And let's make this pink. So we're going to go straight up like this, right? We're going to stop there. So we're going to check that line when x is equals to 11, y is equals to 11. So we know that this line here that I'm drawing is actually when x. So as I was saying, this line here when x. Yes, so as I was saying, right, when x was 11, y will always be 11, right? So this is my line, y is less than or equal to x. So we're looking at not the values above, but we're looking at these values down here. This is remember my arrows that I'm pointing is my inequality, okay guys? So the arrows will show the values that I'm looking at. If I'm looking at where y is less than or equal to x, we will not be looking above the line. We will be looking below this red line, which stands for y is less than or equal to x. Oh, sorry, y is equals to x, right? Then the next inequality would be, right, because they said the four inequalities. The last one would be, let's put this in orange, right? The last inequality, or purple, I'll put it in purple, was 2x plus 2y, no, not 2y, 3y is equal to 30. So remember, the first thing what I do when I had my x and y separately like this, I'm going to say let x be equals to 0. So when x is 0, it's 2 by 0 is 0. It's 2 multiplied by 0 plus 3y is equals to 30. Right? If I have to make y the subject of the formula, because 2 by 0 is 0, y is equals to 30 divided by 3. So y is equals to 10. So therefore, we know when x is 0, y is equals to 10. So the x, not x, sorry. The coordinates for this first point would be 0, 10. Right, the next one, we're going to say when y is equals to 0, what is x equal to? So that would be 2x plus 3 by 0 is equals to 30. Right, you're going to say 2x is equals to 30. So x would be 30 divided by 2, which is 15. So x is equals to 30 divided by 2, which is equals to 15. So I know that my coordinates when y is equals to 0, x is 15. So this would be 15, 0. Right, so my coordinates that I'm going to plot is 0, 10 and 15, 0. So let's look. When x is equal to 0, that's on your y-axis. Right? When x is equal to 0, y is equal to 10. That is in this purple dot here. And then the next one, when y was equals to, when y was equals to 0, x is equals to 15. That is on your x-axis. So now we're going to connect those two purple points. And then I'll talk about the inequality. We're going to connect this point with this purple point right here. Just going to turn it purple. So they're color coded, right? So this region here, let's read what they said. They want a region where 2x plus 3y is less than or equal to 30. So we know that this will be below the line, so it's going to go here. Right? So we know they said to label the region where satisfies all R. And if we look at our arrows, that would be this region right here. So let me just put it in. it's in gray. That is this region right here. So this region that I shaded just now would be known as region R, which is where everything, all my equations have been satisfied. Right? Now part part D1 is determine two combinations of the minimum number of cars and minivans that can be used to carry exactly 60 persons on the tour. When they say the minimum number of cars, if we realize the total or the maximum amount of cars that they have is 9. So any coordinate that is on my purple line that is more than 9 would be incorrect. Now, guys, when we are trying to figure out, right, two combinations, we do not want something that is in the middle like this coordinate here, right? If I have this coordinate that's between 4 and 5, we cannot find the middle of or 3/4 of a line or of a car. We have to realize what is the item we're talking about. So we're going to use coordinates that are fully plotted on the line. So the first point that we can plot is right here, where the number of cars is 9 and your um number of cars is 9, the number of minivans is 4, right? Your next coordinate could be, it won't be here because that's part of my it's in between these spaces. We don't want that. So we want something on these full or blunt lines, right? Next one would be here, which is 6, 6. So that's 6 cars and 6 minivans. Right, and we look along, we won't plot this point here, we won't plot any of these. The other one that you could probably plot is this one right here, right, which is 3 cars and 8 minivans, right? That is the next combination. Right, so we have combination 9 cars, 9 cars, 4 minivans, 6 cars, 6 minivans, 3 cars, 8 minivans. Right? There are no other flush lines unless you want to have 0 cars and 10 minivans. However, I wouldn't do that because they want a combination of cars and minivans, right? So any two of these would be correct, right, for this answer. If you have, let's say, the combination of 6, 6, which is 6 cars and 6 minivans. The next one would be 9, 4, which is X is cars, Y is minigun van. So it's 9 cars, 4 mini. Hold on, let me just erase this. 9 cars, 4 minivans. Or you could have your last combination, which was 3 cars and 8 minivans. Whichever one you choose will be correct, because they just told you to draw a combination. They didn't tell, and where your minimum number of cars is 9. So you could never have your x-axis. On your x-axis, the largest number there could be 9. If you had anything more than 9, that would be incorrect, right? So these are my, I put 3 possible combinations. They asked you for only 2. The last part of the question says the company charges 70 to rent a car. So one car is equal to $75, right? And one minivan is equal to $90. Right? Now they told you the combinations, the possible combinations, and you want the minimum cost to be 990. Right? So if we check, you can check your possible combinations. Right? 3 cars plus 8 minivans. Right? I will do all of them. 3 cars, which is 3x plus 8y. Right? No, don't confuse you guys. It's 3 cars, which is 3 by 75, 3 multiplied by 75, plus we have 8 minivans, right? 8 multiplied by 90. This is way more than 990, so let me just check it. 3 multiplied by 75 is 225, plus 9 multiplied by 80, or 8 multiplied by 90 is 720. If we were to add this 720 plus 225 is equals to $945, right? Then you want it to be 990, okay guys? So we're going to do the next combination, which is 6 cars, right? 6 cars, which is 6 multiplied by 75, plus 6 minivans, which is 6 multiplied by 90. When you multiply the two, that is 450 plus 540, which is equals to 990. You can stop right here. They just said show that the minimum cost the minimum cost for the store is $990. Right? And that would be the end of May June 2022.